Listen to the silence of your own room tomorrow morning. The alarm rings, you open your eyes, and before your feet even touch the floor, the negotiation begins. You hit snooze. You reach for the glowing screen in the dark, letting the lives, opinions, and manufactured crises of strangers flood your mind before you have even had a single original thought of your own. You tell yourself it is just 5 minutes to wake up. Just a quick check to see what you missed while you were asleep. But in that tiny, invisible moment, you have already lost the day. You have surrendered your most valuable psychological real estate to noise. The unsettling truth is that your life is not being ruined by some grand tragedy, catastrophic bad luck, or the active malice of your enemies. It is quietly rotting away in the warmth of your own bed, smothered by a million micro-surrenders. You are here because you are tired of being the prey in a game you did not even know you were playing. You are tired of being predictable, easily manipulated, and entirely ignorable. You feel the constant, low-level ache of being underestimated by people who are not half as intelligent as you are, yet somehow always seem to hold the cards. We are going to change that. We are going to systematically engineer a version of you that is immune to manipulation, impossible to read, and quietly dangerous. But to do that, you must look at reality without the soft, comforting filters that modern self-help insists on placing over your eyes. The world is not conspiring to hold you back. It does not have to. It simply offers you cheap dopamine, and you actively sedate yourself out. Look at the masses around you. They walk through the world reacting to everything and acting on nothing. When they are mildly inconvenienced, they complain. When they are bored, they immediately seek distraction. When they feel an emotion, anger, jealousy, sadness, or joy, they instantly broadcast it to the world, desperately seeking validation from people who secretly do not care about them. They believe this lack of impulse control is just normal behavior. They call it being authentic. They call it self-care. What they do not understand is the cold, Machiavellian reality of their environment. The systems around you are heavily incentivized to keep you soft. A disciplined, highly focused, and emotionally unreadable individual is terrible for the modern economy of attention. You cannot be sold quick fixes if you are not perpetually dissatisfied. You cannot be controlled if you do not crave external validation. The people who hold power in any dynamic, whether it is the corporate boardroom, the modern dating market, or the subtle hierarchy of your own friend group, rely entirely on your predictability. They need you to be easily distracted. They need you to be emotionally fragile. Think back to the last time you felt used or overlooked. Your instinct was probably to blame the other person for being selfish, toxic, or manipulative. But if you look closer, if you analyze the situation like a strategist rather than a victim, you will see your own broadcasted signals. You showed them you were willing to tolerate their disrespect because you were too afraid of the discomfort of conflict. You chose the warm, familiar pain of being slighted over the cold, sharp reality of setting a boundary and walking away. You handed them the exact blueprint to your mind because you could not stand the silence of keeping your thoughts to yourself. This is the central enemy pattern you are trapped in, the absolute addiction to cheap comfort and the careless broadcasting of your internal state. When you cannot sit alone in an empty room without reaching for a screen, you are telling the world that you cannot tolerate your own company. And If you cannot tolerate your own mind, why should anyone else respect your presence? You become dependent on external inputs to regulate your mood. You become a puppet, and your strings are made of convenience and the quiet desperation to be liked. Manipulators, narcissists, and power players do not possess magical abilities. They simply possess the patience to observe what you cannot hide. They scan for the very things you give away for free. They look for the man who cannot hold his tongue, because they know his ego can be easily baited. They look for the woman who over-explains herself, because they know her guilt can be weaponized. They look for the individual who constantly seeks the path of least resistance, because that person will always fold when the pressure is applied. Your comfort is not a sanctuary. It is your greatest strategic liability. Let this sink in completely. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you are paying a tax on your own future. You are trading your leverage for a fleeting moment of ease. Comfort is the ransom you pay for your own irrelevance. You hand over your autonomy, and in exchange, the world allows you to fade into the background, undisturbed, unchallenged, and entirely unexceptional. The 1% who truly understand the game of human nature do not operate like this. They do not view comfort as a right. They view it as a vulnerability to be carefully managed. They understand that a mind softened by endless indulgence is a mind that will shatter under the slightest real-world pressure. They know that the individual who requires constant entertainment is the easiest individual to blindside. To become formidable, you have to stop viewing your daily routines as harmless habits and start viewing them as structural weaknesses in your armor. You want to be untouchable. You want to walk into a room and command the space without having to perform for the crowd or demand their attention. But that level of power is never granted by others. It is a byproduct of extreme self-governance. The world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your own internal discipline. When you are chaotic, reactive, and undisciplined, the world treats you as a pawn to be moved around the board by whoever has the strongest will. When you are absolute in your self-control, the world instinctively hesitates. It recognizes a force that cannot be easily consumed. This transformation does not start with grand, sweeping declarations or highly publicized resolutions. It starts in the dark. It starts in those quiet, unseen, and miserable moments when your brain is screaming for the easy way out and you deliberately choose the hard way. It starts when you feel the overwhelming urge to complain about your circumstances and you force yourself to swallow the words. It starts when you finally realize that your endless desire for peace, quiet, and ease is exactly what is keeping you trapped in a life you secretly despise. But to stop being a victim of this game, you must first execute the version of yourself that prefers the cage. Executing that version of yourself does not happen in theory. It happens in the brutal, physical reality of how you train your flesh and govern your impulses. Picture a high-stakes environment, a modern office meeting, a tense negotiation over a contract, or even a complex social gathering with shifting alliances. Look closely at the people in the room. If you know what to search for, you will almost always spot the individual who is desperately, unconsciously leaking power. They are physically soft, their posture folded inward, as if apologizing for the space they occupy, and their eyes dart around the room seeking constant validation. When someone challenges their idea, interrupts them, or delivers a passive-aggressive slight, watch how quickly they unravel. They instantly flush with anxiety. Their voice raises half an octave, and they immediately begin to over-explain themselves. They construct elaborate, defensive paragraphs when a simple, unapologetic no would have sufficed. They are practically begging the room to understand them, to like them, to spare them from the discomfort of disapproval. Now, look at the counterexample. Somewhere in that same room is the strategist. You notice their physical presence before they ever open their mouth to speak. They carry a forged, disciplined physique that occupies space firmly and without apology. When the tension in the room spikes and the conversation descends into emotional chaos, they do not join the panic. They sit in absolute, unbothered stillness. They observe the reactive, frantic behavior of others like a scientist watching lab rats navigate a maze. When a subtle insult is thrown their way, they do not rush to defend their ego. They simply let the insult hang in the dead air until the person who threw it feels the crushing weight of their own foolishness. They hold all the power in the dynamic, not because they yelled the loudest or dominated the conversation, but because they absolutely refuse to play the game of emotional ping-pong. You must understand that the physical body is the first piece of data your enemies process. It is a biological resume that you present to the world every single time you cross a threshold. You can lie with your words, you can fabricate your credentials, and you can rehearse your confidence in the mirror, but your physical form tells the absolute, undeniable truth about your private habits. A neglected, out-of-shape body broadcasts a deeply dangerous message to anyone who knows how to read the unspoken rules of power. It signals that you cannot delay gratification. It tells the world that when you are faced with a choice between the sharp pain of discipline and the dull pleasure of indulgence, you will always choose the pleasure. It reveals that you surrender when things get difficult. In the dark hierarchy of human dynamics, a weak physical presence invites disrespect because it implicitly suggests that you lack the capacity to defend your own boundaries. Forging your body, therefore, is not an exercise in vanity. It is an exercise in psychological leverage. When you build physical strength, you are constructing a visible monument to your own willpower. People instinctively respect a physique that was clearly paid for in sweat, exhaustion, and consistency, cause it is visual proof of a mind that can endure suffering. A predator, a manipulator, or a corporate tyrant looks at a disciplined physical form and subconsciously calculates that this is not a person who will fold under pressure. By mastering your physical state, you are preemptively eliminating half the battles you would otherwise have to fight. Your mere presence becomes a deterrent. You force people to engage with you carefully, simply because your body radiates the quiet, undeniable violence of someone who knows how to suffer voluntarily and win. But physical armor is entirely useless if the fortress inside is commanded by a coward. Your body can be made of iron, but if your emotions are made of glass, you are nothing more than a heavily armored puppet waiting for someone to pull the strings. The soft self thrives on emotional reactivity. It loves the sudden rush of righteous indignation. It loves playing the misunderstood victim. It loves the dramatic highs and lows of unregulated feelings. Every single time you react impulsively to an insult, a rejection, or a stressful text message, you are handing a psychological joystick to your opponent. You are showing them exactly which buttons to press to override your logic and assume direct control of your behavior. The Machiavellian player understands that emotions are tactical liabilities in the game of power. If people can make you angry, they own you. If they can make you feel guilty, they control you. You must execute the soft self by learning the dark art of emotional withholding. You must train yourself to feel the sudden, burning spike of anger or the cold, paralyzing grip of anxiety, and forcefully sever the connection between what you feel and how you act. Let your face become a blank, unreadable canvas. Let your silence do the heavy lifting. When someone tries to bait you into an argument, or bait you into proving your worth, deny them the satisfaction of a response. Look at them with the calm, dead eyes of someone who is completely and utterly unaffected by their existence. This deliberate lack of reaction is profoundly unsettling to manipulators, because their entire toolkit relies on your active participation. True power lives exclusively in the gap between the stimulus and your response. The longer you can stretch that gap, the more dangerous you become. The soft self rushes to fill the silence because silence feels like social death and it desperately wants to be liked. The self-mastered individual weaponizes the silence, using it to suffocate the insecurities of everyone else in the room. When you combine a physical presence that commands respect with an emotional void that cannot be penetrated, you become a terrifying anomaly in a world of highly emotional, highly reactive adults. You stop being a participant in their predictable drama and become the cold architect of your own reality. This execution of the soft, reactive self is non-negotiable. You have to put the undisciplined, over-explaining, emotionally fragile version of yourself up against the wall and leave it there. You must rebuild yourself into a structure of stone and silence, carrying the lethal weight of your own self-control wherever you go. Yet a forged body and an impenetrable mind are entirely useless if they remain tethered to the wrong people. A forged body and an impenetrable mind will make you a formidable force, but they are entirely useless if they remain tethered to the wrong people. You cannot ascend the hierarchy of power while dragging the dead weight of your past behind you. Picture the scene. You are sitting across from an old friend, a roommate, or perhaps even a family member. You quietly mention a new boundary you have set, a project you are building, or simply the fact that you no longer want to participate in their weekend rituals of drinking and complaining. Watch their eyes closely. Listen to the subtle, venomous shift in their tone. They do not congratulate you. Instead, they offer a passive-aggressive smirk. They tell you to relax, warning you that you are taking life too seriously, or they mask an insult as a joke, asking if you suddenly think you are better than everyone else. This is not a harmless social interaction. This is a territorial dispute. They are testing the structural integrity of your new mindset to see if they can drag you back down to their level of comfortable mediocrity. Your initial instinct is to feel betrayed. You complain to yourself that you are surrounded by toxic people, that you have terrible luck with friends, or that the world is filled with individuals who deeply resent ambition. You adopt the role of the tragic hero, misunderstood and held back by the malice of those around you. But this channel is not about comforting you with polite lies. We promised you the cold, unapologetic truth, And here is the dagger turn. You are not a victim of these people. They are not in your life by accident. They are in your life because your low standards invited them in, and your overwhelming, irrational guilt is keeping them there. You broadcasted a signal that you were willing to tolerate disrespect, and they simply answered the call. You must understand the brutal economics of human relationships. People are either accelerators or anchors. There is no neutral ground. The human animal is incredibly susceptible to the environment it inhabits. If you surround yourself with people who settling will inevitably begin to feel like the baseline of reality. If you spend your time with individuals who view themselves as victims, their language of complaint will slowly become your native tongue. You allowed these anchors into your inner circle during a time when you were terrified of being alone. You traded your future potential for the cheap warmth of belonging to a tribe, even if that tribe was fundamentally broken. You chose the comfort of their company over the isolation of your own standards. Therefore, the resentment they show you now is simply the receipt for the terrible bargain you made years ago. The people who are threatened by your growth do not possess the power to stop you physically, so they must resort to psychological warfare. Their primary weapon is guilt. Guilt is the invisible leash the weak use to control the strong. They will leverage your shared history, reminding you of who you used to be, how long you have known each other, or the blood you share. They will implicitly accuse you of disloyalty because you are no longer interested in participating in their stagnation. But loyalty to a dying version of yourself is not a virtue. It is a form of slow, psychological suicide. You do not owe anyone your future, simply because they happened to be physically present in your past. This misplaced, nostalgic loyalty has buried more human potential than failure ever could. To become untouchable, you have to ruthlessly dismantle the romanticized idea of unconditional loyalty. In the realm of power dynamics, loyalty is a conditional asset that must be continually earned through mutual elevation, not a lifelong contract signed in blood during your youth. The moment someone's presence consistently subtracts value from your peace, your focus, or your ambition, the contract is null and void. But cutting dead weight does not mean you throw a theatrical tantrum. You do not write long, emotional text messages explaining why you are leaving them behind. You do not invite a dramatic confrontation to tell them how toxic they are. That is the behavior of an emotional amateur desperately seeking closure or validation from the very people they claim to despise. The true strategist operates with absolute, chilling silence. You sever the connection through the Machiavellian fade. You simply reallocate your resources. You stop answering the phone immediately. You stop volunteering information about your life, your plans, or your successes. You let your responses become short, polite, and entirely devoid of emotional substance. When they attempt to bait you into the old dynamic, you offer them nothing but a blank wall of cordial indifference. Over time, the oxygen is sucked out of the relationship entirely. They will naturally drift away to find an easier source of validation, someone who will play the familiar game with them. You let distance do the violent work that confrontation cannot. You become a ghost to the people who no longer serve your assent, leaving them with no handle to grab onto and no emotional leverage to exploit. This will feel profoundly uncomfortable at first. You will be accused of being cold, arrogant, and heartless. The masses will always view the preservation of personal power as an act of cruelty, because they operate from a mindset of endless emotional entanglement. Let them think whatever they want. Their opinions are the dying echoes of a world you no longer inhabit. The price of outgrowing your environment is the willingness to be misunderstood by people whose understanding you no longer need. You must embrace the temporary isolation. Solitude is the laboratory where self-mastery is truly forged. When you strip away the voices of the unexceptional, you are finally left alone with your own potential. You realize that the fear of being abandoned was a complete illusion. You were never being abandoned. You were simply clearing the board so the real game could begin. Once you have severed the anchors designed to pull you down, you must construct the invisible machinery guaranteed to pull you upward. Once you have severed the anchors designed to pull you down, you must construct the invisible machinery guaranteed to pull you upward. Consider the highly motivated amateur. You see him every January, or every time his life hits a predictable, painful low point. He announces his grand return to the world. He posts his new gym routine on social media, buys expensive planners, and declares war on his old self with a fiery, emotional manifesto. He wants the applause before he has done the work. For 3 weeks, he runs on the volatile fumes of sheer inspiration. He relies entirely on his current emotional state to dictate his physical actions. But motivation is an incredibly fragile, temporary biological high. It is an adrenaline spike that the weak dangerously confuse for a permanent shift in identity. The moment the weather turns cold, the moment a superior at work demands more of his time, the moment the novelty wears off and the brutal, unglamorous grind sets in, he collapses. His feelings change, and because his discipline is tethered to his feelings, his actions simply cease. He falls back into the exact same cycle, comforting himself with the convenient lie that he just needs to wait until he feels inspired again. Now, observe the cold strategist. He makes no announcements. He posts no manifestos. He understands that relying on motivation is an amateur's gamble, a fatal strategic error in the mechanics of power. Motivation requires you to constantly negotiate with your internal state, practically begging your own mind to feel like executing the plan. The Machiavellian player refuses to negotiate with himself. Instead of waiting to feel ready, he builds systems. He engineers a daily routine so mind-numbingly boring, so repetitive, and so structurally sound that it looks like absolute magic to the outside world when the results finally compound. He does not try to artificially inflate his willpower, because he knows willpower is a finite, highly depletable resource that drains with every small decision you make throughout the day. Instead, he ruthlessly alters his environment so that failure becomes highly inconvenient and success becomes the absolute path of least resistance. This is the architecture of inevitability. If you want to master yourself, you have to stop trusting yourself. You have to assume that the version of you who wakes up tomorrow morning will be tired, cynical, and actively looking for an excuse to quit. You must set psychological traps for that weak version of yourself the night before. You treat your own laziness as an enemy combatant that must be outmaneuvered. If you want to forge your body, you do not wake up and ask yourself if you feel like training. You place your gear next to the door and you literally disconnect the internet router so that staying in bed with your phone is no longer a viable source of cheap dopamine. You completely eliminate the friction between your intention and your action, and you heavily maximize the friction between your intention and your vice. You do not fight the temptation to scroll through mindless entertainment. You delete the application entirely, forcing yourself to endure the tedious process of reinstalling it every single time you want to use it. The sheer friction makes the cheap comfort exhausting to acquire. You are manipulating your own biological incentives, playing a high-stakes game of chess against your own worst impulses, and forcing checkmate before the day even begins. But this architecture of self-mastery is built on a foundation much deeper than simple habit formation. It is built on a cold, uncompromising relationship with time. The masses view time as a ticking clock on the wall, a passive backdrop to their chaotic lives. They use phrases like killing time or passing the time. They trade their most vital hours for a paycheck they barely notice, and then they throw the rest of it away on digital entertainment, meticulously designed by algorithms to harvest their attention for corporate profit. They treat time like an infinite, renewable resource because they are fundamentally divorced from the reality of their own mortality. They tell themselves they will start the business next year. They will leave the toxic, draining relationship next month. They will build the disciplined mind when things finally settle down at work. Later is the psychological anesthetic the weak inject into their veins to numb the sharp, agonizing pain of their current mediocrity. The strategist views time with a terrifying clarity. Time is not a clock. It is the absolute only currency in the universe that cannot be manipulated, coerced, or bought back into existence. If you lose your money, you can scheme, leverage, or outwork your competitors to get it back. If you lose a relationship, you can find another one. If you completely destroy your reputation, you can engineer a new narrative in a different city. But an hour wasted scrolling through the manufactured outrage of the internet is an hour permanently erased from the ledger of your life. It is gone forever, and you cannot negotiate with the universe to refund it. When you truly internalize this ruthless mathematical reality, your tolerance for triviality drops to absolute zero. You immediately stop engaging in pointless arguments with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop attending social obligations born out of guilt rather than genuine strategic or personal value. You become violently protective of your schedule. This deliberate, calculated efficiency is what truly separates the people who theorize about power from the people who actually wield it. When you combine an environment scientifically engineered for automatic success with a lethal, almost paranoid protectiveness over your time, you remove the element of chance from your existence. Your success is no longer a matter of luck, genetics, or fleeting inspiration. It becomes a mathematical inevitability. You wake up, and the machinery simply runs. The habits execute themselves. The deep, focused work gets done in silence, while the rest of the world is still trying to figure out how they feel about the morning. You stop wasting cognitive energy on basic operational decisions, allowing your mind to become incredibly sharp, observant, and dangerous. You are no longer fighting the chaotic, draining crosscurrents of your own lack of discipline. You have constructed an impenetrable fortress of routine that no bad mood, no external crisis, and no manipulative individual can breach. And when your internal systems are finally automated, you are free to turn your attention outward, to become a ghost in a world of loud, predictable men. And when your internal systems are finally automated, you are free to turn your attention outward, to become a ghost in a world of loud, predictable men. This is the final evolution of the Machiavellian mind. Once your internal empire is utterly secure, you step onto the external battlefield where the true games of power are played, equipped with an advantage that the masses cannot even comprehend. You are no longer fighting yourself, which means you can dedicate every ounce of your cognitive energy to reading the board, anticipating the next move, and quietly dismantling the psychological leverage of everyone around you. Picture yourself walking into a high-stakes conversation tomorrow. It could be a critical salary negotiation, a hostile business meeting, or a confrontation with someone who has continually tried to undermine your reputation. Sit across from them and simply watch how they operate. Because they lack self-mastery, they are deeply uncomfortable with tension, and their nervousness inevitably manifests as noise. They talk far too much. They overpromise, they exaggerate their value, and they frantically fill every empty space in the conversation with nervous chatter. They project their insecurities, desperately trying to convince you of their dominance or seeking your validation. They are practically begging for your reaction, scanning your face for any sign of approval, fear, agreement, or submission. You offer them absolutely nothing. You do not nod encouragingly to ease their discomfort. You do not smile to break the tension. You sit back, perfectly relaxed, and employ the most devastating weapon in the strategist's arsenal: weaponized silence. You let their frantic words hang in the dead air, forcing them to listen to the hollow, pathetic sound of their own anxiety. In the complete absence of your reaction, they will inevitably begin to negotiate against themselves. They will lower their demands, backpedal on their threats, reveal their hidden motives, and expose their true vulnerabilities, all because they are terrified of the quiet void you have deliberately placed between you. They will hand you the keys to their psychological kingdom simply because they cannot endure the pressure of an unreadable opponent. This is the absolute pinnacle of self-mastery. It is the realization of strategic asymmetry. In any human dynamic, the person who speaks the least and observes the most holds the ultimate advantage. When you are an open book, when you eagerly broadcast your ambitions, your deepest fears, your past traumas, and your next moves, you hand your rivals all the necessary data to build a cage around you. They know exactly what temptations will distract you, what insults will derail you, and how to perfectly outmaneuver your plans. But when you become entirely unreadable, you become a terrifying blank slate. People cannot plot against a ghost. They cannot sabotage a plan they do not know exists. By concealing your true intentions, you force the world to guess, and a world that is forced to guess is a world that is permanently off balance. Reaching this state requires a profound, violent suppression of your own ego. Your ego desperately wants to be seen. It wants to walk into a room and loudly declare how intelligent, capable, disciplined, and dangerous you have become. But the dark reality of human nature is that the moment you announce your strength, you attract immediate resistance. You give your enemies a clear target to aim at. The truly untouchable individual understands the immense, almost unfair advantage of being chronically underestimated. Let them think you are ordinary. Let them assume you are harmless. Let them mock your quiet nature and mistake your absolute stillness for passivity. When people believe you are no threat to their status, they drop all their defenses. They speak carelessly around you. They reveal their true colors, their petty grievances, and their hidden agendas, because they do not believe you possess the capacity or the intellect to use that intelligence against them. They are handing you tactical superiority for free, completely blinded by their own arrogance. You absorb everything, mentally categorize their weaknesses, and continue to build your empire in the shadows. All true power lies entirely in the gap between what people assume you are capable of and what you actually are. When the time finally comes to strike, to seize the promotion, to launch the enterprise, or to completely and finally remove a toxic element from your life, your movement will be so swift, so calculated, and so unexpectedly devastating that they will not even have the time to brace themselves. You do not need to warn them you are coming. Your results will echo like thunder, leaving them utterly paralyzed by the sudden, overwhelming realization of what you have been building in the dark. This is what it means to be untouchable. It is not about living a fantasy life free from conflict, betrayal, or difficulty. It is about fundamentally rewiring your psychology so that external forces no longer have the leverage to break you or control you. You stop being a reactive creature, dragged around by the fleeting whims of your environment, and become the cold, calculating architect of your own fate. You have executed the soft self. You have forged your physical armor, severed the anchors of your past, and engineered a daily routine that guarantees your ascent. You have learned the lethal art of silence and the undeniable strategic value of remaining an absolute mystery to those around you. But all of this knowledge is entirely worthless if it remains trapped in the realm of theory. Tomorrow morning, the alarm will ring again. The room will be quiet. The negotiation will begin exactly as it always does. The world will be waiting to see if you are still the same predictable, comfortable, easily manipulated pawn you were yesterday. You have a choice. You can hit snooze, retreat into the familiar warmth of your excuses, and return to the slow decay of a life lived on someone else's terms. Or you can step into the cold reality, refuse to negotiate with your weakness, and begin the violent, beautiful work of building a self they cannot break. The game is already being played. Your only choice is whether you are going to be the player or the prey. The architecture of your untouchable mind begins the exact second you open your eyes. Act accordingly. But acting accordingly brings with it a new, far more dangerous problem. The moment you become undeniable, you inevitably become a target. You have spent your energy executing the soft self, forging your body, engineering your habits, and severing the anchors of your past. You have learned to operate in the shadows, utilizing weaponized silence to expose the weaknesses of those around you. You are no longer the predictable pawn that society expects you to be. But the acquisition of this power introduces the final, most seductive trap in the Machiavellian playbook, the trap of arrogance. Power, when newly acquired, acts like a heavy intoxicant. It makes you feel invincible, and the second you begin to feel invincible, you begin to make the exact same careless mistakes that your enemies make. you begin to believe your own myth. Look at the fools who stumble into temporary authority. They get a minor promotion, they build a moderately successful enterprise, or they finally achieve the physical presence they have been chasing for years. How do they behave? They instantly change their posture from quiet competence to loud, fragile arrogance. They start treating the people below them with unnecessary cruelty, forgetting that the people below them today are the very people who will hold leverage over them tomorrow. They start broadcasting their victories. They buy flashy things to ensure the world knows they have arrived. They become drunk on the validation they once swore they no longer needed. And in doing so, they completely abandon the disciplined, unreadable nature that got them the power in the first place. They stop being the ghost in the room and become the loudest target on the battlefield. The true strategist knows that maintaining power requires exponentially more discipline than acquiring it. When you rise above the masses, the environment around you shifts. The people who underestimated you are now actively watching you. Some will try to align with you, hoping to siphon off your momentum. Others will secretly plot to dismantle your reputation because your excellence is a constant, blinding reminder of their own surrendered potential. If you allow your newly built confidence to curdle into arrogance, you will hand them the exact weapons they need to destroy you. Arrogance makes you blind. It makes you assume that because you won the last battle, you no longer need to prepare for the next one. It convinces you that you are immune to the subtle manipulations and power dynamics that you just learned to conquer. You must remember the velvet line that anchors this entire philosophy. Comfort is the ransom you pay for your own irrelevance, and there is no comfort more dangerous than the comfort of thinking you have permanently won the game. Self-mastery is not a finish line. It is a continuously moving horizon. The moment you sit on your throne and decide that the work is finished, the decay begins. The iron in your mind starts to rust. The forged body begins to soften. The carefully engineered habits slip back into the familiar gravity of your old, lazy routines. You must treat your success with the exact same cold, calculating paranoia that you treated your previous failures. You must assume that everything you have built is fragile and that the universe is actively conspiring to take it away from you if you stop defending it. This means you must cultivate a profound, almost sociopathic level of humility, not the fake, performative humility of someone who wants to appear virtuous, but the tactical humility of an apex predator. The lion does not roar before it strikes. It stays low in the grass, blending in completely with its environment. You must remain grounded in the brutal reality that no matter how untouchable you feel, there is always someone colder, sharper, and more disciplined out there. You must continue to operate as if you are fundamentally behind schedule. Let the world praise you. Let them shower you with the validation you have finally earned. Say thank you, smile politely, and then immediately discard their praise from your mind. Do not let their applause become the fuel you run on, because if you run on their applause, you will inevitably collapse when the applause stops. Keep the dagger hidden beneath the velvet. Your external demeanor must remain impossibly smooth, elegant, and entirely unthreatening. You do not wield your self-mastery like a blunt instrument to bludgeon others into submission. You use it to navigate the complexities of human nature with frictionless grace. You let other people believe they are in control of the dynamic. You let them talk. You let them lead the conversation. And you let them feel powerful, all while you quietly hold the absolute leverage in the interaction. You become the subtle architect of their decisions, guiding them exactly where you want them to go without them ever realizing they are being led. This is the ultimate expression of power, controlling the environment so completely that your hand is completely invisible. The path you have chosen is one of profound, voluntary isolation. The higher you climb, the fewer people you will find who understand the language of extreme discipline. You will be surrounded by noise, by the frantic desperation of the modern world, and by people who are addicted to their own destruction. But you will no longer be a part of it. You have built a fortress inside your own skull. You have reclaimed your time, mastered your physical form, and learned to read the unspoken rules of the game. You are the architect of your own inevitability. The war against your soft self is the only war that actually matters, and it is a war you will fight every single day until the day you die. You will not complain about the difficulty of this burden. You will carry it in absolute silence, knowing that the weight of discipline is the only thing that keeps you grounded in a world of drifting, irrelevant men. Do the work. Keep your mouth shut. Remain a mystery, and never, ever let them see the blade until it is too late.